Well, I was wondering if you had a horror story from an audition, an experience.
Yeah, so in Los Angeles we have pilot season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before I was doing anything, I was going out for pilot season, which is just like, for me, was the worst time of the year. It's just so hard.
Yeah.
This is like, 12, 13 years ago when you actually had to drive all the way to your agent's office to pick up the sides and then drive home and memorize.
Right.
It was like,
yeah.
And you'd have 3 auditions a day.
Yeah, wow.
And I went to this one audition, and it was for a comedy, some sitcom, and it was a team of women. They were casting directors. And I did the audition. They were like, that's great. But the thing is that she's really sad. So can you do it again and just do it so you're really sad? And I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, like this is a comedy, but sure. So I get really sad. And then they're like, okay, let's try it again. Maybe you're not understanding. She's really sad. And I was like, okay. And at this point, I'm almost crying. Like I'm doing exactly what I think they're asking, and I'm like so sad. It doesn't make any sense to me. I leave there. I'm like, I don't even know what happened. That was ridiculous. I call my agent. They call me back. My manager calls me, and she was like, okay, so here's the thing. Not that I agree with this, but they suggest that you take an acting class because you weren't able to take the note.
Wow.
What happened was they were saying that they wanted me to make it like ridiculous, like in a funny way.
Yeah, go over the top with the sadness.
And I was like, you told me to make it real sad rather than ridiculous. And I was like,
real
I'll
and really.
I'll never forget that she told me to take an acting class. I was like,
oh my God. Yeah.
But I do remember going, oh, okay, and do you think that I should take an acting class, Amy? Or
what did she say?
She was like, no.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, it's like Ed Wood, angrier. Oh, you're not that angry.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, hey, how about you take a coaching class? Because
yeah, right. Wow,
that made no sense.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you take
that was mine. What about you? Did you have horrible auditions?
Oh God, I mean, I think every audition experience can be horrible, but there was one.
Most of them were horrible, but except the ones you booked.
I remember I did. I was 10 years old, and I did a.
10 years old.
Yeah, I was in the middle of doing 2 episodes of this show called Highway to Heaven, where it was Michael Landon. He's an angel who's got a mullet or whatever, and my character had to have cancer, leukemia, and so I baked my head and I was bald, and I think in the middle of the episode or just after, we decided to. We had other auditions and things, and I had to. We got a wig for me, but it was. I think we bought it on Hollywood Boulevard or whatever, and it literally. I put it on it, and it looked like Donald Trump. It looked like, so I was this 10-year-old.
And you were 10. Was it an adult wig? Tell me it was an adult wig.
I don't even know. It was honestly like a mammal. It was like like hunting for this thing. And so then I remember I had this audition. It was a comedic thing, which I guess maybe those are the more challenging ones to do. And I had this idea, being 10 years old, I was going to wear a hat on the wig, on my head.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I was going to take off the hat, and then the wig would come off with it, and there would be, it would be like funny. And I remember I went in there, and I think it was one of the first times. Well, I mean, I was young. I don't know. It was like, wow, it was awful. The reading was awful, and it was kind of like one of these things where they said, "That's great. Thank you very much." And I said, "Okay." So I was like, God, am I going to do the bit? And I turned around, and I had this crossroads. And I went, I'm gonna do it. And so I turned back around and took it off, and the wig, and I was bald, and the reaction was like, it was just like.
Wait, you turned around first and then came back around?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna, like, ta-da! And so that was and even now I cringe.
Well, look, 10-year-old boys are hilarious.